history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment.
Okay, folks, welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is the hour of politics. Always with me, Anthony C., your host. And in today's edition of the Hour of Politics, I'm broadcasting to you from London. Welcome to this edition of the Hour of Politics. Do us the favor, as we always ask, and share the broadcast. Of course, the Hour of Politics is more about politics. And welcome to this London edition of the Hour of Politics. Today's topic, what will the Lofa County Senatorial by-election results tell us? That is one topic for today's discussion of the Hour of Politics. If you are not aware, may I report to you, there is campaign going on right now in Lofa County for a senatorial by-election intended to fill a vacant seat in Lofa County. To make this happen, Unity Party put forth a candidate. Joseph Yemambwaka and his supporters are in Lofa. Campaign is ongoing. Unity Party and Joseph Yemambwaka want to see this seat taken by now the opposition Unity Party for obvious reasons. So let us get into the discussion in no time. So what will the Lofa County Senatorial by-election results tell us? And that is the key. But we cannot tell you what the results of the senatorial by-election are going to tell us, and this time we're talking about 2023, until we look at all the variables and a little history of this entire senatorial by-election. The first question that I have to ask as I do this presentation, or an analysis if you like, why are we having by-election in Lofa County? Why? Well, the answer is simple. In 2020, there was by-elections held for all the 15 counties in Liberia. Lofa was one of those counties. The candidate who won that election was J. Brownie Samuka. He was the Unity Party's candidate. He won that seat, but he was stopped because of what the lawyers call legal handicap or injury. What that means is that he was found guilty by our court for allegedly siphoning money intended for AFL, and that Mr. Samuka, along with, I believe, 2 or 3 other officials of government, did not do right for using the AFL money in the way they did, and the court found them guilty. And that was a criminal case, by the way. So Mr. Samukai was found guilty as a criminal. And because he was deemed a criminal by the court, the argument was that he was not qualified legally to occupy a Senate position, even though he was elected by the people of Lofa on a Unity Party's ticket. And so there was an indictment that should have followed a subsequent imprisonment and a payment for the money that, according to court records, he and others have used in a way they shouldn't have used it. But then, in no time, the president of the Republic of Liberia, George Manawia, pardoned Mr. Samukai, and so he could not go to jail, except that he needed to make arrangement with the court to pay the money that he was accused or found guilty of siphoning. Interesting story, right? So this was a Unity Party candidate. Now, the most historical piece about this is Mr. Samukai said he acted on the instruction of a Unity Party's president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, that it was President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf who have given him the authorization to use the AFL money for wounded AFL soldiers who were sent to Mali on peacekeeping mission. How did that money become the AFL money? The money actually was AFL pension money. So the soldiers, they were cutting certain percentage from their monthly salary and set aside to be given them upon retirement. So it was actually the post soldiers' money that they worked for or earned and have been set aside, only and solely for their use and for their use only and for no other purpose or purposes whatsoever. And so for the then Defense Minister Bernie Samukai to have used the AFL money for reason other than for their pension purposes, it was said that was in violation of the funds. And so he was indicted. Now, record also had it that Mr. Samukai, besides using the money on wounded AFL soldiers who were in need of attention, also used some of the money personally, according to the records. But Samukai had maintained throughout the whole thing that he acted on the instruction of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and he did nothing wrong. We are talking about the Unity Party. We are talking about the Unity Party president who have given an instruction to somebody who later became a candidate of the Unity Party. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who according to Samukai did give the instruction for the use of the AFL money that got him in trouble legally, could not even come to Bernie Samukai's aid. Ellen acted as though she had no idea that she did not give that instruction. What I'm trying to establish here is we are having by-election today because the Unity Party brought this to our attention, or this is the Unity Party's doing, to put it right. So was Bernie telling the truth? The Ellen actually gave the instruction. Was any of the funds used for the AFS soldiers who have come from Mali on peacekeeping mission? The records are clear. Yes, some, according to court records, were used on AFS soldiers who had returned from peacekeeping mission and needed attention. They were wounded. So according to Brandon Samuka, because the government of Liberia did not have any money anywhere, president has given him the authorization to spend the money and that the government was going to put the money back at a certain time later. Fast forward, I am tempted to say this might be very true, and here's the reason. When President Weah then took over, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and President Weah met and they had a conversation about this fund. George Weah government had agreed that they would pay back or put back the money that was used by Judge Brandon Samuka. In other words, the government of Liberia, the United Party government, used the money on AFL, even though they used it for purpose that was not intended. And they have had negotiation or discussion with now the current administration of George Manuel Weah how to settle the matter. But because what was done were against the purposes of this particular pension fund of the AFL, some way, somehow it went to court, and more so because there was also an allegation that the money used was not only used for the wounded soldiers, and that J. Bernie Samuka used some of the money personally. Did the United Party maybe the question we should ask now is, are we having by-election because this is the doing of the United Party? I would say yes. If the United Party, as an institution that was head of government at the time, felt the need, a compelling need to have used the money and had used this money appropriately, Bernie Samuka would not have gotten into trouble. We will not be having the by-election today. So we are having by-election today because United Party, as a political institution that was hailing the government, did not manage, did not use the AFL pension for its intended purpose. Or in other words, J. Bernie Samuka did not use the AFL money for the intended purpose. And he said he was instructed by a United Party candidate who became president, who happened to be Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The very Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who reportedly, or according to Bernie Samuka, had given this instruction for the use of the money, will not go into court, neither show any indication that it was she who actually gave that particular instruction or authorization. So if Ellen were to go beyond just talking to this current president and negotiating, and if she has said, that yes, that was done upon her instruction, could that have helped? I'm not sure. But what I'm sure of is we are having by-election today in Lofa County because the Unity Party, as a political institution, along with a then president or the president of Liberia, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, did not do well, did not behave well, use the AFF pension money for purposes not intended. Samukai will be found guilty. Samukai will become injured legally or will become legally handicapped. And it was the very Unity Party that have had knowledge of this ongoing legal hurdle on the head of J. Bernie Samuka. It was the very Unity Party that had made this decision through its leader, Joseph Yeman Boakai. That it was prudent, it was wise, it was calculative to have made J. Bernie Samuka the Unity Party's candidate, despite that which was popular record and known in the political arena that this man had a legal matter ongoing. The Unity Party did not see that that was a red flag and that anything could have hampered his chances of becoming the senator of Lofa County. How couldn't the people of, the party, Unity Party, how couldn't they have seen this? Why couldn't Joseph Yimambwaka, who has been around a long time and has impeccable experience when it comes to governance, how couldn't he have seen this as a potential problem that could have denied the people of Lofa representation at the Senate? The Unity Party consciously, intentionally, and purposefully know what was a possible potential of denying the people of Lofa County representation at the Senate. Joseph Boaka and the Unity Party made this decision. So J. Brownie Samuka told the people of Lofa, he being their son, they voted for him. It was the Unity Party. It was Joseph Boaka who had introduced to the people of Lofa, this is our son who is best suited for the Senate, and elect him. And the people of Lofa, on the request of the Unity Party, on the request of Joseph Yimambwaka, and overwhelmingly voted for J. Brownie Samuka. Do you blame the people of Lofa? I would say, no, I don't blame the people of Lofa. Lofa was looking up to 8 leaders. Number one, and prominent among them having to be Joseph Yimambwaka. So, this is Bwaka's doing partly, and Unity Party's doing partly. They are the reason why we are having by-elections today. Giving Joseph Yimambwaka name recognition and record in Lofa County. It was more than obvious if they have found any other person. Chances, I'm not sure, but chances are that that person could have won because of the name Joseph Boaka, because of the party, Unity Party. Because if you look at the margin that Samuka won with, it was overwhelming. It was a tsunami political victory. That tells me even a less likely or known candidate being supported by Boaka, introduced by Boaka to the people of Lofa, that person could have narrowly won. The people of Lofa would not have been denied as they have been denied today. So, folks, could this have been prevented? I will say yes, it could have been prevented. Who could have prevented it? The Unity Party could have prevented it. Joseph Boaka could have prevented it. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf could have prevented it. But they did nothing. They intentionally and purposefully did this. And they were not calculative. And if anybody is to be more blame or should share more blame, why the people of Lofa are not represented today, it would be Joseph Boaka, number one, who has been around and has significant experience to know how these things play out, but did it anyway. And the Unity Party that claimed to have had the political understanding and gravity and wherewithal will make this kind of calculation when the red flags were just right there before them and they didn't care. And at the end of the day, they have to blame CDC because Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had a conversation with them. This is a political business. Everybody plays in their own interest. The seed was taken. You think CDC are like that? No. So they did what the Unity Party has given them, and they have taken advantage of it. So let me progress here. So it could have been prevented. So, but what is happening right now? The Unity Party, Joseph Yimambwaka, his supporters, they are in Lofa, they are campaigning. They are campaigning heavily. Is the Unity Party is and should be afraid right now? Yes, the Unity Party is afraid and should be afraid. How do I come to the understanding that the Unity Party is afraid? The Unity Party is afraid because a defeat of the Unity Party candidate will send a political shockwave in their spine, something that they will not be able to explain. First of all, they are responsible for what they are dealing with. And second of all, if they can't put it off, what would they have to say to the people of Lofa? What would they be able to tell the people of Liberia? Mind you now, Unity Party in the 2017 election won only one county with Joseph Yeman Bwaka as its candidate. And that county is Lofa County. And that county is the county Joseph Yeman Bwaka comes from. That was the one and only county the Unity Party won in the second round of the 2017 general and presidential elections. So Unity Party that won in this just one county is afraid. Because if the Unity Party candidate is defeated, the interpretation and the political meaning here will be the Unity Party does not have any strong standing anymore. Bwaka is putting everything that he has in his arsenal in this campaign. The Unity Party is doing everything. They have taken their supporters, Lebanon Ayere, Daros Dillon, Bocha Sebo. I'm not sure if he's supporting Mr. Bwaka, but I'm sure of Ure and Daros Dillon. They are there in support of Bwaka's decision, in the Unity Party's decision, for the Unity Party to win this seat again. So the Unity Party is afraid, because if the Unity Party should lose this, what is there for them to say? What face will Bwaka have? What face will the Unity Party have? What will be their explanation? All they're going to do is to just spin it, and no one will believe them. The only county you won in the last election is the one you can win at the senatorial level, when you just won with J. Bernie Samuka in a tsunami victory, and a few months later you will go and lose it. I'm not saying the Unity Party is going to lose it, but if the Unity Party loses this seat, it will be bad news for them politically. It will be a bad news for Joseph Bwaka. Even Joseph Bwaka himself will be more than worried. My own people, the one and only people that have given me a county to win in the past election, are the one now saying no to me? That will be a strong message to Joseph Bwaka, and it will bring to question Mr. Bwaka's chances in the 2023 election. But more so, it will be about the political narrative that will be derived, or that will be developed, or that will emerge, or that will come out of this particular, results that, potentially might well go their way or not go their way. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with Lofa. I'm a Grand Crew guy and also Rado County guy. So let us make progress here. Is the Unity Party worrying right now? Yes, Unity Party has all the reasons to be worried about, because if this is Bwaka's stronghold, I mean, what's the essence of Bwaka and all their folks and going over there? If they were not worried, they would just go and drink Kue. For those of you who are familiar with the United States politics, I did not see Barack Obama. Am I being wrong here? But I don't remember seeing Barack Obama going to California to campaign, because that is the strongest hold of a Democratic Party. In a competitive political competition, your stronghold, you don't spend more time there, because the records are there that this place, your opponent or the other party stands no chance. But I'm not saying because of that Bwaka did not need to go there. But if you see the frantic efforts that are being made right now, it tells us all that they don't want to see any defeat, because a defeat will be devastating. It will dispirit Joseph Bwaka and the Unity Party, and they will have no face in talking about politics in Liberia, especially 2023. So let us also find out what will be said if and when the Unity Party wins or loses. If the Unity Party wins, they will say, well, we are still strong. But that will not be a strong message, because it's obvious that if any place the Unity Party or Joseph Boakai, when his name is more like attached to any particular candidate or any battle for that matter, if there's anywhere Boakai will win, it got to be Lofa, as evident by the past election. So if the Unity Party narrowly or some way how, I mean some way how, or somehow to put it right, wins, that should be no big news, because if anybody is to win this thing in Lofa, it got to be the Unity Party, especially when the name Joseph Yemam Boakai is in there and campaigning for this candidate, and this candidate is his party's candidate. So let us also talk about what a defeat would mean for the Unity Party. A defeat would be disaster, and I'm going to waste no time on that. All right. So what would the result? Will the results, win or lose for the Unity Party, mean any positive for the CDC chances in 2023? Of course not. So let me answer that question, and let me state that question correctly for you to understand. Let's say the Unity Party, unfortunately for them, will not win or does not win. Does it mean anything positive for the CDC? Not necessarily. First of all, the CDC knows that it is not the favorite when it comes to electoral politics in Liberia. No, the CDC knows that. So the CDC is calculative, though. And so the CDC is now putting forth a candidate that carries the CDC symbol or emblem or logo. The CDC is now doing that because the CDC knows that name CDC is not as popular. It's not as tasteful. It's distasteful right now, especially in place the Lofa. No, that is not where the CDC. So the CDC understand that. That is why the CDC is now putting forth a candidate. Its strategy is to support somebody who is a son of Lofa County and who comes from the Lofa County. So why is the CDC strategist the way? Now, during the by-election that Bernie Samunka won, Joseph Yemam Boakai's message to the people of Lofa was clear. He said at the time, it was time for Lofa County to decentralize its representation. Steve Zago, who happened to be a senator at the time from Upper Lofa County, and J. Bernie Samunka, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've heard from people who are familiar with Lofa, he's from Lower Lofa County. And so Boakai's message was, I would rather us vote, I want you to vote for somebody from Lower Lofa County so that we can have a Senate representation from Lower Lofa County and the upper representation in the Senate from Lofa County. Now, that was not the reason J. Bernie Samunka won, but that was a good message. Because if you are from Lower Lofa County, you want to have a senator. You don't want your two senators coming from Upper Lofa County. But now, the Joseph Boakai and the Unity Party that made that argument then to the people of Lofa County, they are not making that argument right now. From what I learned and heard from people familiar with Lofa County, the current Unity Party candidate is not from Lower Lofa County. The argument is that it does not matter Lower or Upper Lofa County at this time. The angle here is the people of Lofa County have been denied representation. So what is important is for Lofa County to send a message to the ruling CDC that we do not want anybody you're going to put forth. We're going to take one of our sons, even if the person, comes from Upper Lofa County, where we have Steve Zago as a senator. That is the argument that they are making. That it is not about Lower and Upper Lofa County anymore. It is more about the people sending a message. So let me read to you something to juice this thing up quickly. Former Vice President Joseph Boakai was on Wednesday received by a mammoth crowd who gathered in large number along major towns and villages leading to Zozo District, Lofa County. Many of them could not hide their excitement as the cheer Boakai and his entourage in what could be best described as a triumphant homecoming. Follow me. Boakai, political leader of the Unity Party, called on Lofians, residents of Lofa, to turn out to vote for the Unity Party candidate, Galopa Kotuma, all right, to send a message to the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC. He said, and I quote, "I have nothing to say but to remind you about the economic conditions or situation we are experiencing in our country. They have denied and fought representation of Lofa County at the Senate. They want to install someone of their own. It's time you use your voting card to defend the decision you made in 2020 to vote Brandon J. Samuka, who was prevented from taking office following a Booker Supreme Court ruling." So the Unity Party, through Joseph Yimam Boakai, is now buying the decision from the Supreme Court against J. Brandon Samuka. When they bring their country money to convince you to vote their choice, eat it and vote for Unity Party candidate, Boakai said to an uplifted audience who chanted in return, "Number 4, number 4, number 4. Now, something is key from what I just read. I'm a fair guy, very fair indeed. I think that's part what I saw as a contradiction from the previous message. I think Boakai is on message here. I think the message here is profound. What is the message? He said they are trying, and that's a convincing political message. He said, look, the CDC did this through the court to deny you representation. They want to bring somebody, of their choosing to install the person to be your senator. You made a decision in 2020 by voting J. Brandon Samuka. I want you to defend that decision you made. Stand by your decision that you made in 2020. He continues, if they bring you the money, eat it. I think that was a profound message, because we know the CDC has been on this mission of using money to convince the poor people, carrying on political projects, most of which we know are government funded projects, but they will not tell the people that, hey, this is a government of Liberia operation or project. Many of them will use the name of CDC, the president's name, that they are doing it personally for the people and that they care about the people so that they can reap the political dividend. So this is Boakai telling them that, look, if they bring you money, take the money and eat it. And I think that was a well on point, a message from Joseph Boakai. If they bring you money, take the money and eat it. But vote against whoever they bring in. That's how I see it. I think that was a strong message. Now, it's left with the people of Lofa to take that message from their son, their uncle, and if I can say, the father, political father of Lofa County, to listen to him. And the crowd chanted, according to what I read, number 4, number 4. Who is number 4? Number 4 is the Unity Party's candidate on the ballot. That was in Zozo. Is that the case in other districts? Is that the case in every town? Will this lower Lofa County senatorial representation versus upper Lofa County representation with the idea of equal representation be a defining or deciding moment for some voters. If that would be a deciding moment for some voters, especially for voters in lower Lofa County, because that was what they used when they voted for Brandon Samukai and he won overwhelmingly. That was more so because of Joseph Walker and the Unity Party, though. But if that message of lower Lofa County senatorial representation is key to them, then it will undercut the numbers for the Unity Party's candidate. Because look, as a traditional and village boy who grew up in one of Liberia's counties, Grand Cru, the people in the counties, when they are voting their best sons and daughters. It is not more about the political party. No. It's not more about the political party all the time. Sometimes it's more about who they know. Now, Lower Bond County, who do they know? Who do they see as their own and their kind? Who do they think will best represent them in their majority? Will it be the Unity Party candidate? From what I learned, is from Upper Lofa County. Wouldn't the people of Lower Lofa County won't mind this time? It will not matter to them. Will they not care that they, as Lower Lofa County, will not have a senator in the Senate? Will it not matter to them? Some of them, majority of them, will it not? Or will it matter to a greater number of them or majority of them? And if that is to be the case, will that honor call the chances of the Unity Party? And will that honor call be significant enough to land the Unity Party candidate short? And if that were to happen, or if should that happen, or if that is to happen, would that be a slap in the face of Vice President Joseph Yimambwaka? Now, if for any reason the Unity Party candidate is to win, for two of Lofa's senators to be in enough, will that at some time in next year election bring anger to the people of Lower Lofa County that why we don't have representation in the Senate? Will they blame the Unity Party? Will they blame Joseph Yimambwaka? Will they want to punish him in 2023? I do not know the answers to that. But those are questions we need to ask. Because what I know, and I know very well, politics, people can debate the policies, people can give you all the lecture of a political description here and all that. But politician, and as a media guy, I have come to understand that political decisions at the ballot box most of the time are determined by emotions, how the people feel. Are they angry about certain things? In the US, there are sharp differences on the policies between the Democratic Party, political ideology and all that. Even though somebody may belong to the Democratic Party, they know that, well, Democrats stand for, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, are they more angry with the Republican Party? If their anger against the Republican Party is strong, Democrats will tend to vote more. What I'm telling you is they will not be voting because the Democratic Party support, the right or want to give a free college education. It will not be more because of that. It's because of what scares them on the Republican side. Vice versa. The Republican, when they are angry, when they are so worried about the Democrat, they tend to come out more. Does that apply to Liberia? But that is how people tend to vote all the time. They may believe in Bwaka, but as individual citizens, there's this thing, all politics is local, right? So it may be local for the people of Lower Bond County and the districts in Lower, not Bond, but Lofa County. That this time they will rather produce somebody from their side to be senator too. So that is something to watch out for. We don't know how it's going to play out. I don't really know. I'm not familiar with Lofa or County. Now, will a defeat for Unity Party mean Bwaka is doomed in 2023? How do I answer this one? No, it will not mean Bwaka is doomed. But it will mean Bwaka will be feeling doomed. It will mean that the political narrative will be doomed against Joseph Bwaka. What? Former vice president, participated in the last presidential elections, won his own county only, and this is a county now he can't win when he's supporting a candidate. What do we say about Joshua? Joshua raised the hand of Paulita Weir, I believe it was 2019. She got defeated. I believe way before that, the very Joshua raised the hand of John J. Weir. John J. Weir got defeated. We are talking about Joshua since 2005, who anytime he will raise somebody's hand, that person was an automatic winner. There was the Joshua a few years later, raised Paulita Weir's hand, it was a massive defeat. John J. Weir's hand, it was a massive defeat. And then Thomas Fowler's hand, and the CDC spent the highest amount ever. And they sustained the greatest defeat ever. We are talking about an icon, Liberia's most popular politician today, Josh Malawi. Don't dismiss that. Now, his popularity might have taken a negative trend now, but that is what Joshua has been. This is the guy who's raising people's hands and they can't get elected. Why he's president? Why using money? So that trend continues to this day. To the point that the CDC is even afraid to put forth candidates in other districts or elections. That's by having Joshua. Put it on the Bwaka side. This is Bwaka. You're popular. So if he is to raise somebody's hand in Lofa, the only county he won, and if that person does not win, that means a trend is picking up. Will that trend continue in 2023? Most likely. Just as when the trend picked up with Joshua, it continues to this day. They don't whoop him in their stronghold of Monserrado County. CDC won nearly every by-election in Monserrado County until when Joshua became president. And he started getting unpopular. Will that be the opposite with Joseph Bwaka because he's not in power? But if this seat will not be won by the Unity Party, despite Bwaka's heavier involvement with the campaign, I would want to believe that a trend may be picking up here. And that trend is likely to extend to 2023. That is a likely political narrative that will be doomed on the side of Joseph Yaman Bwaka. Watch out for that. We do not know how things will play out. But the traditional side, the people of Lofa, they are traditional people. You know, my understanding from what I've been told, they are cohesive. Many people who don't know about the Southeast always have the assumption that the Southeasterners, they are so cohesive when it comes to their tribal lines. No, we are not like that. We support the best. Joshua may have gotten good number of votes in, for example, Grand Gila County. The people of Grand Gila have their reason for voting for Joshua. I believe some of them are having second thought now. After all, Joshua accrued Grand Gila's crown. And then the people from the other side of Liberia need to know there are so many tribes there. We have Global, we have Crew. Now, in terms of our history, in terms of our culture, they are interconnected. There are so many similarities. There are similarities in the northern part of Liberia. But to say that because Georgia is from the Southeast, and so I mean he screwed, and I mean or all other people in the Southeast are screwed, that is not the case. Even in Grand Crew County, there are people who don't want to see Joshua from his own county because he is a complete political weakling. When it comes to governance and leadership, he's not there. He has a strong popularity and love. That is it. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is Unity Party and Joseph Boakai stronger in Lofa County today compared to years ago. That's another piece we need to put piece together. Is Joseph Boakai and the Unity Party stronger in Lofa County today compared to many years ago? And if Boakai and the Unity Party are stronger today, where is that strength coming from? Is it because of the poor governance of Joshua? So people now are gravitating to Unity Party? And Joseph Boakai, what did Joseph Boakai do in Lofa County to maintain his popularity or to have, have these strong ties with the people of Lofa? What did he do? Is it because he's their son, so they're going to support him either way because they will rather vote one of their kind or support one of their kind? Are the people of Lofa County, do they have the freedom to decide otherwise, despite Boakai being their kinsman? Well, these are the questions. When we get the answers, then we know. But I would say that Joseph Boakai, I'm not sure he is as strong as I would think he should have been in Lofa County. Because if you look at Unity Party performance in Lofa County, my understanding is that the road to Lofa County is not as good as it should have been. Unity Party did not do well. That is one reason the people of Lofa may not be feeling so good about the Unity Party. Now, if you look at Unity Party's headquarters, one of which, like I told you, I'm a traditional guy. I know I've seen some of these things. So look at this. This is the Unity Party headquarters in Lofa County. Welcome to Unity Party sub-office or Lawulazu town. You see that? When the people of Lofa County look at it and say, well, Unity Party were in power for 12 years. This is the best they can do. This is their party's headquarters. Boakai was right there by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So what this image tells us is Unity Party may not have done well for the people of Lofa at all. So now it's left with the people of Lofa to appreciate the Unity Party for not doing better, or to say, well, Unity Party were better anyway, and Joshua is worse. So depending on how they will be thinking, we can say the Unity Party is stronger. Joseph Boakai is stronger in Lofa County compared to today. Now, my understanding is that the CDC is carrying on some projects in Lofa County. Even though they're using the government money, but they are putting the face of Jefferson Koji and Thomas Fowler. My understanding is that there are some street lights. My understanding is that there are, I think some roads being paved in Lofa, in one of the cities or so. If that is the case, will there be some Lofians who will appreciate that because the Unity Party did not do those things? By giving them solar panel lights and paving some roads? Will some Lofians appreciate that? Will some young people in Lofa appreciate that? That our uncle did not do it when you were vice president, CDC is doing it. Will they have reason to have this second thought about Joseph Boakai and the Unity Party? And with that sense that, oh, CDC is doing this. They've just been in power for 5 years in Unity Party, and Joseph Boakai were in power for 12 years. They didn't do any of this. Would that diminish their love for Boakai and the Unity Party? For some people, it may. And that might lead to the reduction of strength and standing of the Unity Party in Lofa County. And that may also apply to Joseph Yimambuaka. Now, one thing we saw, there are young people. We saw this image coming from the campaign trail there. There is a vice president, Joseph Yimambuaka. Some people say he's reading the souvenir program at this particular event or whatever, document they were using for this particular event. Some people say he's reading it. Some people are saying Joseph Yimambuaka has fallen asleep. And now you have the Unity Party's chairman, Mr. Ami Moda, there with a little fan. And he has a fan in his hand. He's blowing himself. So there is the presidential candidate of his party. Everybody's sweating. And the party chairman is carrying a little fan for himself. He does not care about the presidential candidate. But folks, this is just to put some, little laughter and juice around it. But on a serious note, folks, people will read what I just showed you differently. Now, whether that will impact how people vote, I'm not sure. I'm not sure somebody going to vote against the Unity Party candidate because the party chairman carrying a little fan. I'm not sure the people of Lofa, all the people of Lofa, going to vote against the Unity Party candidate because some people believe that Joseph Boakai has fallen asleep. After all, this allegation or accusations of Boakai falling asleep, it's not something that just started. That is his history now. That is his record. And despite that, as I read to you earlier, when he entered Zozo, according to the newspaper article, there was this mammoth crowd. People gather along the streets or the roads in the towns and villages to welcome Joseph Yimambuaka. And as he spoke, they chanted number 4. So he falling asleep is not an issue. And the party chairman carrying a little fan with him, But the thing is, our Unity Party provided sufficient electricity and maybe build a much, comfortable town hall that will have maybe air conditions in it. The party chairman of Unity Party will not be carrying a useless little fan with him to keep himself cool because the place is hot. Maybe the Unity Party should have done a much better job there. Maybe as a government center, somewhere that people can gather when you have dignitaries for them to be comfortable and not be sweating profusely, as was the case with the Unity Party party chairman who cares about himself, being cool, and he does not even care about the party's candidate who is right there and sweating. He can't even take the heat. He's carrying a little fan with him. And this man is supposed to be a Liberian, and he definitely is a Liberian. I'm not questioning that. But a Liberian carrying fan with him at an event, to keep himself cool. So at the end of the day, is he not thinking about the people that came to the event? So you want the people to vote for you. You want them to come to the event and stand in the hot sun to cheer you on and vote for your candidate. They don't have fan. They don't bring their own fan. And now you're here carrying a little fan with you. What does that mean? That this man here, when Unity Party wins, he will just be about himself. He will not care about the people. But that is something to just tease your brain. That's how I do it. So, folks, we have to conclude this. Another major piece I want to touch here quickly. And then I will be concluding and be reading some comments. The Unity Party is campaigning in Lofa. Interesting. Is Boakai on point? Will the Unity Party win? If the Unity Party wins, what is that going to mean for the Unity Party? I mean, is Unity Party not supposed to win? Why would a win mean anything for them? But at least it will give the Unity Party face. If the Unity Party does not win, it will not give the Unity Party face. The CDC will be energized. They will pound on the narrative. If the person the CDC supporting wins, the CDC will be making empty noise that will actually not add any political number to the 2023 presidential elections. So, folks, I want to stop this far and say, as a guy always trying to look at these things, in a more analytical way to bring some little more understanding to the issues. I thought to bring you this edition of Hour of Politics to give you some gist on how this senatorial by-election will actually play out, what it will mean and what it will not mean, and what we need to read, out of it, and what it will mean for the Unity Party in particular, especially Jose Mamboaka. So what I'm going to do is going to take a little short break, and when I come back, I will be reading your comments. I want to entertain your comments in no time, so we're going to take a short break, and we will be right back, folks. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that break. Okay, folks, I'm back with you, and thanks for staying here with me in this edition of the Hour of Politics. Let me get to your comments here quickly. Thank God we don't have as many as we always have. This one is from Cisco, last name Cisco. That is Jemama Jeman Cisco. As the Battle of Lofa intensified, who's going to come out victorious on Tuesday? This is Jeroen Gilman, focus on Liberia, host of our program On Point. He's a edition, folks, so you know where he's coming from. CDC and Jala in Lofa, he writes. Let's hear from Sulaman Fofana. Brother, I can really enjoy your show. Your show always balanced. Okay, Mr. Fofana, thanks for the compliment. Please bring in some criticism. We are flawed human beings. So let's hear from Ambassador Saros Baromine Davis II. My name is Ambassador Sarah Baromine Davis II, Liberia first-time voter, chairman for CDC. I am watching you live from the revolutionary first-time voters of Liberia, CDC War Room. Thank you for the show, he writes. Mayfi Deco, this is a friend here and an ardent follower of Focus on Liberia. You always sound like someone from one of those 17 planets that Jefferson Kojit created. Deco, are you talking about me? Then I'd rather come from one of those planets if you are talking to me, because there's so much trouble on the rest of the planets, especially the Earth. Joseph writes, that's correct. The former president should have been able to clear this from the court, and he did not. Let's hear from Amazon Zibadi, poor analysis. I appreciate that. Someone has, rated the analysis as poor. Thank you. I will do better next time. Cisco again, this guy wants to open up all wounds. He is a CDC agent. Also, sedition, you should be celebrating. Someone has ordained me as a member of your party. You should be celebrating. Anthony V. Kessley, but you are assuming that JMB and the people of Lofa are convinced that Samuka was fairly treated, or that the code could go to this extent, or do you feel that the battle was now worth fighting for? Such proposition for cowardly act, that might have been your cowardly resort, not the people of Lofa. That is Mr. Kessley there. Your analysis is so wrong, my dear brother. Thank you, Amos K. Kennedy there saying my analysis is so wrong. Jimama Cisco again. Let me leave that one. I've read 2 comments from him. Let's hear from Ramsey Labla. This is senatorial election. All contestants are sons of Lofa. Presidential election is only one son on the ticket, and that's JMB. That is key. So if this man is from the district, why, if the people from that district want to see their son to become senator, if they all vote for that particular candidate, because they are all sons of Lofa, so that might be reducing the chances of the Unity Party. But we'll wait and see. Watching from Ganta, Nimba County. Let's hear from Mr. Kessley again. Stop the naive calculation, man, Anthony. It is the great showing for JMB in many other counties that put him second place, not just win one county. But we are talking about the county, and we are doing the analysis based on the result of the county, Anthony. So Dr. Pachibo, yeah, this is a litmus test for the Unity Party for the 2023 polls. If Waka loses, he has himself to blame and should reflect on the law of karma regarding his role in the CPP. That is something I will agree with. Ansu or Tanga, I think Unity Party has to be in Lofa because of the credibility of NEG is questionable outside of Morovia. Well, they are. I agree. Myself to have some questions about the National Election Commission, but to this National Elections credit, it may not be perfect. It is definitely not perfect, as you say with certainty. But the opposition have won more seats, since the CDC came to power. That is a credit we should recognize, right? Not true, see, win or lose, JMB remains the best candidate to take Liberia over this threshold of gloom, she writes. From Aku Joseph the senatorial election in Lofa will be quite difficult maybe made different from the presidential election, my friend. Thank you, Dad, and I appreciate that comment. Up needs to sleep on the mat until after the by-election in Lofa because the other guys are crooks and corrupt guys not trusted. That person's right. Let's hear from James Tanu. He will be best candidate in Foya, Lofa County. I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about Uncle Joe. The people are only good to be used, as you can see now in Lofa. Whoever wins after the election, Lofien go right back to the status quo and wait for another election. Knowledge is power. Liberians, open your eyes. That person writes. This is our dear friend George Preston Lobo, who lost his mother. Focus on Liberia has announced that. George, we want to again extend our sincere condolences to you for love. For the loss of your mother. We are so sorry, George. I hope. I talked to him later this morning, as you say. I'm in London, so I'm thinking that it was morning time. As soon as the United Party will only have senator and not two big bro. I didn't get it clear there. And so the United Party will have senator and not too big, bro. All right, maybe say it's not too big to have 2 senator. Let's hear from Joseph Cummins Jr. If you can't win on popularity, then you need money. Up and got it. All right. So that is it there. Let me hear from Frederick. Frederick writes, Up isn't coming back to power. If we have to replace we will replace him with Mr. Cummins. That person sounds like someone in Cummings Corner. Elvis Morris, a follower of Focus on Liberia. Very thoughtful analysis, Mr. C. Yeah, I always try my best. I'm not always good at this thing. Let's hear from Joseph here. I really don't want this useless CDC government to win any election, especially in Lofa, but the election tomorrow is very tough election, even though upstate stand a better chance judging from the past. Yeah, that is true. They should be standing a better chance. I mean, they have Bwaka, they should stand a better chance. That is why, anyone would think they should win it. But if they don't win it, that's bad news for them. JMB is done. No matter what, our goal is to cut into the lead by 30%. We have done that. Watch the margin. That is a sedition speaking there. He said that is their strategy. Like you from Joe Mumba or Kolibo. Win is win by big, win is win, but big win by up is more destroying to CDC. I will agree with that. I would agree with that. I saw a comment here that I needed to read quickly. Yeah, this one. All right, this is it. Their traditional polity is going away gradually in Lofa, and if up does not win the presidential election comes 2023, the face of Ambassador Parker in Lofa politics will diminish significantly. He writes, yeah, that is true. If Parker can win this thing, I don't think the people of Lofa County now will be looking up to him. I mean, after all, I don't think Parker is going to run again after this one. Folks, I want to say thank you, and thank you so very much for your comments. I wish I could get more comments to read. Let me see if there are more. Those are the ones I think I could get to. Let me read this one from Augustine Mankabe. No, if not just all, but the CPP. Folks, let me conclude with this here. I'm on a vacation, so I don't want to spend too much time here. So there is something that I said earlier from the beginning. The Unity Party is to be blamed for this by-election. They could have been prevented by the Unity Party. They could have been prevented by Joseph Yimambuaka. The Unity Party and Joseph Yimambuaka did nothing for J. Brandon Samunka when Samunka won the seat. And according to Vice President Joseph Yimambuaka, there was a bogus Supreme Court ruling. By bogus, he meant that they disagree with it, that the man was robbed of representation. The people of Lofa County were robbed of representation. They were denied representation. Waka really knew this? This is the Unity Party political leader speaking. So the Unity Party knew that Lofa was denied. People of Lofa did what they needed to do. They chose their son. And then a government would dare stab them. What did Waka do? This is what I saw. What the Unity Party do. So at some point, the court decision was this man should pay the money. The Unity Party raised money to pay. No. I don't know. I mean, I want to be corrected here in no time because I don't want to say something that is incorrect. Unity Party as a political institution did not see their need to help Bernie Samunka out. Bernie Samunka out to pay the money. Unity Party did not do it. Unity Party sat idly by, supposedly as though it had no clue that this man needed money. Even though Unity Party knew that this man, their candidate, needed this money. Now, Samunka's supporters protested at the Capitol. They did everything. They were raising money from Liberians. They raised some money, but that money was not enough. Where was Unity Party? Where was Joseph Boaka? Joseph Boaka and Unity Party did nothing. And this is just the truth. I know the folks in the Unity Party would think I'm trying to pick on them and trying to pick on Mr. Boaka. No, this is just the fact. What kind of presidential candidate, leader of a political party, saw the candidate whose hand he raised and supported? What kind of party that supported a candidate that was in trouble? He needed the money to have this issue resolved to the greater extent, who do nothing. Now, unlike Unity Party and Joseph Boakai, Lofians in their numbers tried to raise money, but these were predominantly poor people. They didn't have the hand to raise all the money that was needed. Now, even the contract devil came out in Lofa to the bridge in protest. That was Unity Party. Did Unity Party stand by burning Samokai? No, Unity Party did not stand by burning Samokai the way they should have stood by him. Unity Party did not do that. Did Joseph Boakai stand by him? No. Joseph Boakai only started speaking forcefully when now their candidate was first denied by the NEC based on the CPP exit clause, which meant that the fact that this man was denied, Joseph Boakai could well be denied only when Joseph Boakai felt threatened that this was a test of the waters and this would really come to him to bite him. That was when JMB put his foot down and he spoke like a man for the first time. That no Unity Party candidate, no by-election. What is happening today? Today there is a Unity Party candidate because he stood. Had Joseph Boakai stood with Samokai, had Unity Party stood with Samokai, that this man is the choice of the people of Lofa, and that he must take his seat, we would have gotten a different outcome. But Boakai and the Unity Party were too weak. They took this thing, they allowed this thing to play out against the people of Lofa. You're asking the people of Lofa to do the same thing. This man was your minister of government. Your government had given authorization to use the AFM money. And yet, you will not stand by him. The government of Liberia acknowledged and paid some of the money. Yet you will not make that moral argument. You will not make that political argument. You will not stand on that moral and political ground. Unity Party did not stand by the people of Lofa. Joseph Boakai did not stand by the people of Lofa. Today they want to be seen as being in the interest of the people of Lofa. I think if Joseph Boakai and the Unity Party has stood firm, they would have come out differently. But they did not. Joseph Boakai and the Unity Party stood firm that no Unity Party candidate, no by-election in Lofa County. The court gave a ruling accordingly in the interest of peace. And today, by-elections is going on. It could possibly become the case if the Unity Party and Joseph Boakai has stood with Samunka that this man was elected by the people of Lofa. He is going to take his seat and we're not going to take a no for an answer on no condition whatsoever. Because there was an arrangement between this government and the CDC had paid some of the money. So you're not going to use this to deny the people of Lofa County representation. Boakai and the Unity Party could have made that argument. They did not make the argument. And now they want to be seen as caring for the people of Lofa so much that they have political balls now to stand up for Lofa. And I'm the one to tell the people of Lofa to bring you money, eat the money. Well, the party might be broke now. Well, Joseph Boakai might not have the money now. So that is the issue. You want to run for presidential election against an incumbent that has money. You have a guy called Cummings, we are told has a lot of money, and you don't have money. You didn't have money to defend a single senatorial seat, and do you have money to compete in a presidential and general election that will involve all the counties? Folks, my name is Anthony C. I always try to bring you the analysis as I see it, fair, balanced, even though others see it differently. And that's the beauty. That is the beauty of the conversation, of the political dialogue. I am not always right. I will not always be right. But as I continue to tell you, folks, I will always be on point. My argument will make sense, if not 98, and maybe 99% of the time. There are sometimes I may not make sense too. I'm a human. But I don't just get up to come and talk because I want to be seen, because I have the privilege of working with a media platform that people follow and want to hear from. That is why I take this serious, because people take their time and listening. Their time means something. And so I must share something. Even if they disagree, it must be logical. It must be sensible. My name is Anthony C. And I brought you yet another exciting, analytical, and biting edition of the Hour of Politics. So, folks, until I catch you again, don't forget, the network is focused on Liberia. Don't forget, the program is the Hour of Politics. And talking about the Hour of Politics, folks, guess what I got coming for you? Tomorrow on the Hour of Politics, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and then 6 p.m. GMT, Liberian time. Sekou Kalasco, presidential aide to President George Manawia, will be my guest on the Hour of Politics. You see it? Focus on Liberia presents the Hour of Politics. Chat with presidential aide Sekou Kalasco. The role of the presidential aide, the president's daily routine, the president's vision and legacy. Our guest, Sekou Kalasco Damaro, will be our guest. Presidential aide to President George Manawia. All right. So Sekou is going to be my guest tomorrow. So folks, you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great interview. We're not going to go too much into politics. We're going to lean more on President Wia's human side, his personal side. And Sekou has been there with him. We also want to get a little clue on this whole thing of presidential aid. I know it has been around, but it has come to prominence now because of the CDC government. What is the work? What is the role of the presidential aid? What can he do and what can he not do? And, so these are the things that we'll be talking about. And of course, Sekou being close to President Wia might have unique sense of President Wia's vision and what kind of legacy that he wants to leave when he is no longer president of Liberia. If anybody is going to know, Sekou going to know. When did Sekou get to know get to know President Wia anyway? Way before he could jump into politics, and has President Wia changed since then? Hey, it will be an interesting discussion with Sekou Kalasco Damaro tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. GMT. You do not want to miss it on the Hour of Politics. I'm Anthony C. and I will be your guy, and you do not want to miss it. And so, folks, we will leave you with this song, this nationalistic song that says, "We are all Liberians." And folks, enjoy the song for just 1 minute before you go, while you think about Lofa or worry about Lofa. Whoever wins, Liberia stands. It will not be the end of the world. Whoever wins will be a son of Lofa. And that person we can only hope and only hope that person will represent the people of Lofa very, very well. That person will not be corrupt, just as most or nearly all of them are. and will not start taking the usual brown envelope, and will not be another lawmaker who smiles and takes pay without providing the necessary representation, oversight, and lawmaking for the people of Lofa County. That person will advocate that money be placed into the budget to build town halls, to build libraries in Lofa, to build the roads of Lofa, that there be money in the budget for the hospitals in Lofa. Somebody who will stand up for the people of Lofa. That is the kind of senator that person should be. We can only hope. But we know the story is always the opposite. Yet, we can only hope. The song, We Are All Liberians, take us home right now. Until I catch you again, I'm Anthony here, reporting from London. Bye-bye.
We are Liberians.